Hello darlings! I'm doing really good actually today. Filming this video has put me in such a good mood. It's absolutely freezing in here, so I need to shut the window. But today I'm taking you through blending, which I think, you know, a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, your makeup's so good, blah blah blah. Yes, I do put a lot of time into it and effort. However, blending is such an important part of your entire face, to be fair. But I focused on the eyes today. If you want me to do like blending foundations or concealers, contour, blah blah blah, because a lot of people actually don't use cream contour or cream bronzer, which I literally love. So if you want me to do anything else, then please let me know. But yeah, today I'm taking you through the process of blending your eyeshadow. So I'll show you a bit closer up. We've got a brown with yellow cut crease, but I've used black, dark brown, medium brown, like orangey brown, nude kind of colour, but you wouldn't notice because obviously I've blended it seamlessly. So yeah, if you want to learn more about blending, keep on watching. Also, tell me I don't look flames in this wig. Do you know what? I haven't done like an elaborate eye in what feels like about 40 years, and I just love eyeshadow. So that's what we're doing today. Please excuse, like, my wig is lifting, but if I'm being completely honest with you, I just can't really be bothered to like glue it back down. So we're gonna ignore that, and we're just gonna get glam. I thought we'd do a little eyeshadow 101 today, because I'm always told like, oh my god, Khadija, your eyeshadow looks so good. Like, yes, bitch. I know it does. But that is simply because I spend so much time on it. And I've spent also a lot of time perfecting the art of blending. As a base, oh my gosh, if you love eyeshadow, just get the p.louise bases, because they are honestly, I mean, I haven't tried any other eyeshadow bases, if I'm completely honest, but in saying that, I can't imagine any other base being as good as this one. I also am dressed, so I just like to put that out there. We're going to grab 3 different sized brushes. So you want really fluffy, medium fluffy, and the least fluffy. These don't match, good. And this one. So I've got the fluffiest, Morphe M441, the medium fluffy M433, and the small fluffy M456. Now, you also, on top of these, want another M441, which is the fluffiest, which I've got another one here, and you want to keep that one completely clean. I'm doing a brown cut crease, well, yellow cut crease with brown outline. So I'm going to put the colours I'm using on the screen, because I'm not going to lie to you, I'm not 100% sure on what I'm going to use. But basically, you want to use lightest on the fluffiest, medium colour on the medium brush, and the darkest colour on the least fluffiest brush. These are the brushes. Let me just put them in comparison to each other. So you've got most fluffy here, middle, and then least fluffy there. So you can obviously see, I mean, they are a tiny bit stained, but they are clean. Now, what I'm going to use to carve out the shape is a MAC, brilliant, oh, 228. So that is what it looks like. Oh, come on. There we go. That's what it looks like. It's literally just like a flat, thin brush. So you want to just get your darkest colour and carve out your cut crease. This will make cleanup a lot easier in the long run. And my eyes, I don't know if you can see, so that's them flat, and if I open my eyes are quite heavily hooded. So basically what you need to do is, if you're going to do a cut crease and you've got hooded eyes, you need to do it with your eye like basically open, just so that you can see where your crease falls, and then you need to put your cut crease above that, like your actual crease, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm not making any sense, but you can see what I'm doing anyway. So there's that. So now we've got the lightest colour down and the darkest colour down. And basically it is tedious, but blending literally is just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like now, I haven't got any more product than when I last dipped in to do this line. So what you want to do is turn the, so the brush is, can you see it? So I was putting it on like this. Now I'm turning it 90 degrees. Yeah, 90 degrees, so that it's not thin and flat. It's, what's this, vertical, and I'm just buffing on the edge of that line. Like, can you see how that's already made such a difference? I've dipped back in, tapped off the excess. Honestly, you need to just tap off the excess every time. Tap off the excess every time. That's another tip. So you have to have basically nothing on your brush, because it's so much easier to add than take away. And know where I'm holding my brush. It's even, the lower down you can hold your brush, the better it will be for blending. So you've obviously hold it so you've still got control, but obviously if you hold it here and you're just like, that's obviously not good, but you need to have it stiff, which is why I like to do eyeshadow. If I'm doing like an elaborate eye, I like to do eyeshadow before my base makeup, just so I can like hold my face to lean and stuff like that. So that is what we're doing. I might even take a tiny, when I say a tiny bit, this is no joke ladies and gents, if you're watching, a tiny bit of black. Now black is frankly quite a scary colour, but it really can do favours sometimes. So yeah, I thought one of my videos coming out next week is going to be a Valentine's look. Send me any that you want me to like do, because I might do a couple in a video. Right, so this is back to the biggest fluffy brush, and I'm just going over the edge of that with no extra product, haven't picked up any more product, and I'm just going over it in circular motions. When I'm editing this, I'm gonna have it really zoomed into my eye, so hopefully you can like look at this flap, but when my hair is like styled you can't really see, so that's why I'm just not caring, if I'm completely honest. Right, now I'm taking this shade here, and that was, so before on the smallest brush I was using this shade mixed with this shade, so now I want to take this shade, and this is on the smallest fluffy brush. I honestly cannot express to you how much you need to tap off the excess, but anyway, you'll hear it. And I'm gonna try and keep this bit like basically unedited, just so you can see what is going on. Even like, look how far down I'm holding this brush, probably like 2/3 of the way down. So always do tiny circular motions. Just, I mean, I don't know why that works the best, it just does. But if you're going to use brown, now I'm going to take that brown just down here. Only that brown though, not the other colours. There we go. And then I'm going to buff it out. Not going to lie, now I can't remember what I was saying. But I'm going to do one eye. I'm going to do one eye talking you through it. I'm going to do the other eye on camera, but I'm just going to speed it up just so you can see what's going on. So I'm going to buff that into there. Now I'm holding this a bit higher just because that line is slightly harsher, because I packed on a lot of product at first. But for the most part, I'm holding it 2/3 of the way down. And it doesn't really matter like how you hold your brush, because like some people, you know, might prefer to hold it like this. But like the way you write is probably the best way to hold it, but obviously just further down, just because obviously the way you write, you have the most control over the pen, if that makes sense. Like you can do literally every letter of the alphabet when you're writing. So I would personally say that is the best way to hold your brush. This is the medium fluffy brush. Mix it together, and if you're mixing a colour, I always find dip, 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 dip is the best. Obviously if you're mixing like 3, then that's not going to be helpful in the slightest. But what it is actually, you just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just so that there's an even layer of each colour. But obviously you do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then you tap off the excess. I don't know if you saw that, but I just literally threw the brush. Okay, so now it is a bit high on my brow bone, so I'm just going to grab this shade by itself and put that closest to my brow, just so that it doesn't seem as harsh up there. I literally do this all the time. And even still, so later on when you go back in, well, I always go back in and like add any parts to my brows that may have like disappeared. You can later on put a tiny line of concealer underneath and buff that downwards, and then it will just give you a bit of a gap between your eyebrow and your eye. And then you can use your fluffiest brush with your lightest colour on, and then just go over the top of that, like just on the edge, so it blends, so it looks like you did it from the beginning. This brush is literally amazing. I'm not surprised. All p.louise products are literally the best thing to grace this earth. But I'm going to take the white p.louise base. So this one was Rumour 3, this one is Rumour 0, which is just white. And I'm going to take a tiny bit on the back of my hand. Literally, look how small that is. Because as I say, you can always add more, you can't take away. I mean, you can with makeup, but it's just like, if you're going to take away, you have to literally take off your entire face. And I mean, at this stage, that's not really annoying. I mean, it is, but I'd rather do it at this stage than with a full face of makeup. But I'd also rather like not do it at all. What you want to do is go slightly above, okay, slightly above where you've put that line. Just because that line is going to be the bit that's the least blended. Right, let me face this way. So I'm so sorry if the mirror comes into shot and it goes out of focus, but I'm trying my best. I'm literally holding my breath. Okay, so and especially if you've got hooded eyes, it's best to go above where you put your line, just so that when your eyes are open you can actually see the colour. Because if you, when I had my eyes open, I obviously put the line just above my crease, but you want it to be above your crease so that when your eyes are open and all your eyelid skin underneath your crease is folded, you still want to be able to see that colour. Which is why you are supposed to go just above it. But this is where you really have like trial and error. And this is also where you get to decide the shape of your cut crease. So some people would prefer a shorter, more rounded cut crease. Some people prefer a longer, more ovally cut crease. Some people, you know, you just got to decide with the shape of your eye. But you can always follow your line that you did before exactly, and then look at yourself from afar, you know, close this eye, whatever you need to do, look at it, okay, I kind of want a bit, then you can decide. Because that's really the best way to do it. Because sometimes, especially if you bear in mind the colour that you're going to use on like this white part that you're carving out, because it might work differently for different looks, etc, etc, etc. So I've just put a bit more of that white base on the back of my hand, and I'm just going some on this side, some on this side, some on this side, and then just tapping off on a clean bit of skin. Yeah, basically. So I'm just going to go over it just so that it's wet, so that when we go to put the new shade on, it just sticks easily, and then we are done. Do you know what? I think blending is something that people don't really talk about, but I think that is the hardest part of like an eyeshadow look, because obviously even if the colours don't go well together, or even if in my opinion the colours don't go well together, I can still appreciate a good eye. Like, I can still look at it and be like, wow, that must have taken them such a long time, like they're blending so good and stuff like that. So it's like you're appreciating the craftsmanship. So it is really important to get that down, and you just want to go over the edge as many times as you like until you get it exactly where you want it. But yeah, I'm not going to time lapse any part of this first eye. I'm so sorry if you can't see what I'm doing. She says, as she then puts the mirror literally. And another tip is having a mirror that you can pick up, even if you've got two, like one mounted to the wall and then one smaller one that you use for things like this. Because like, imagine if I tried to do this cut crease in, okay, the camera is like just over arm's length away from me. Imagine if I'm trying to do a cut crease in the viewfinder. Like, it's just not going to work. You need to be able to see it so up close. Like, okay, even here. So the top of this cut crease has been cut off. Now that I'm looking directly into my mirror and opening my eye, I know that I need to bring this middle bit slightly up, which can be done if you keep your eye open. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to try and do it while you've obviously got to follow on from your original line. Oh no. Right. Sorry lads. Okay, good. It is still focusing on me. Okay, look at my blimmin' creasing. Now, tapping, just to blend out the edges. What you're going to want to grab is a flat brush, basically, as flat as you can get, like the one I just used for the darkest colour, but obviously not that one because you've already got colours on it. The only thing I would say is invest in your brushes. Please, 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 please. Like, okay, this is a terrible brush. I'm pretty sure I bought it for like £3 off of Shein, and I never ever 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 use any of them unless it's a case like this. So invest in your brushes, please, because these were just a waste of money. So now what you're going to do is start, I mean you can start wherever you like on the line, but start not completely at the edge, but basically at the edge. Go back in as many times as you need and just pack it on. And can you see that fallout? That is also why I am not the biggest fan of doing eyeshadow after my base. Because imagine if I just spent however long doing my foundation and my contour and all of this. Just for, okay, I don't like this yellow. I don't like, nor do I like this brush. So there we go. I'm going to use this one. I'm going to change my yellows. I mean, now I might have mismatched eyes, but that's fine. I'm going to use, oh, I didn't even tell you what that yellow was called. Hello Sunshine. Oh, that's a nice name. This one from this palette is called Glow Up. It's a bit more of a mustardy. And I'm using a concealer C210 brush by Royal and Lanical Silk Pro brush. My auntie gave me these when I was like 12. Okay. Oh, much better. This one's like, no, I don't know the word. It's not like more pigmented. It's just like slightly more powdery, which for this is exactly what you need, because you need it to, well, you want to tap it. You want to tap it on. That's another pointer. Not swipe, because if you swipe, brilliant, that would take off the, basically all the work you've just put in, and that is not what you want at all. So now this is the only time you can swipe, but you swipe like, let me come super close to the camera. I'm going to come real close and I'm going to show you. So all the kickback that's now in the palette, you basically, you just go side to side, not overly, and you just want to keep doing this until you get right to the edge of that white line that you created. And it is okay if you go over it slightly. Okay, so there, I mean, I was swiping, but I had such a light hand. Let me just show you what I was doing. So I was just going, let me show you from the side. Hang on. Like this. So it was hardly touching it, just to get that colour right to the edge. And you can do this as many times as you need, really, especially if the colour has picked up elsewhere. So I'm just going to go, I'm dabbing, by the way, I'm not swiping, on the main portion of the lid, I guess you could call it. So now, this is my blusher brush and it does have product on it, but you just use literally the lightest hand as far down as the brush, on the brush, as you can possibly allow. Tea from the James Charles palette mixed with the one underneath it. And I'm just going to blend over the edge. There you go. That was a back and forth motion. But again, very, very, very lightly. And the reason why I took those colours is because I really wanted to blend the top colour because the outside was slightly too warm. So I need to take a darker colour. So I'm now going to do the other eye, the clean brush, which I didn't need today, but I'll just show you what it was for. So basically, once you've put all the colours down, if they're still not that blended, use the completely clean brush and just go over it. I mean, in circular motions, blah 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 blah. You know the technique. And that will basically just blend them all together better. If you messed up putting your cut crease colour in, go back to your small flat brush. Mine was the MAC 228, and you can just go across the edge of your cut crease, back and forward, but so light. That will get rid of any of the yellow that has basically fallen onto your brown. Because it won't have stuck, because you've obviously put the base down, you've now put shadow on top. For a shadow to stick to a shadow is like, obviously like not impossible, but it's a lot harder than sticking to a base. So if you just dust it away, you're good to go. Then it'll be a clean, crisp line. I'm going to use my Revolution Pro Blur Stick. I'm then going to spray some of the iconic Prep Set Glow on my face, wait for that to dry. Use my e.l.f. foundations in Nutmeg and Espresso, mix them together. I usually mix about half and half. Juvia's Place shade sticks in the shade Congo. e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Rich Chocolate, with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Butterscotch. Hey. Milk Makeup powder in the shade Translucent Deep. Then I will use my Makeup Revolution Blusher Reloaded in the shade Rose Kiss. Makeup Revolution matte base powder in the shade P18 mixed with Tea from the James Charles palette for my contour. Laura Mercier powder in Translucent Loose Setting Powder Glow in Translucent, and then I'll be back, because that's literally, if you want to see me like go through the products and stuff, go and watch my everyday makeup routine. I'll put the products on the screen for you. Yeah. Let's go. I'm going to put some music on actually, because no one wants to sit in silence when they're doing their makeup, especially when it's such a lovely day. Whoa, 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 my love, la, la, love. under the sea, under the sea. Darling, it's better, down where it's wetter, take it from me. Okay. Coldest nigga alive, I'm so cold. You niggas got my nerves, you're so old. Time for liner. I'm using the Maybelline Eye Studio Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner 24 hours in 01 Black. Genuinely, if you want a separate video on how I do my eyeliner with hooded eyes, please let me know and I'll film that for you. I could do it as an IGTV. I'm gonna do my under eye, which, to be fair, I think it would look super good if I just left my under eye, if I'm completely honest, but I'm just gonna use the same brush. Okay, no I'm not. What I'm gonna do, actually, I'm gonna do the 7 things I hate about you. The 7 things I hate about you. Oh, you. Okay, I'm gonna take my medium brush and I'm gonna take that MAC 228, this colour, and I'm just gonna run that along my lower lash line. Take a really, really tiny brush and I'm gonna put a tiny bit of the white base on it, literally the tiniest amount. I'm just gonna drag that on the inner corner part, so just here, just under my yellow, not just under my yellow, that was a complete lie, just under my inside triangle liner, that's what I meant to say, and then I'm going to get that yellow colour and just pack it on. I'm going to take the darkest combination and run that right up against, like basically go over my bottom lashes on the outer corner, mainly focusing that on the outer corner, but obviously you've got to drag it in slightly to blend it out. There we go. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. I think if you do your lower lash, it just ties it all together. Also, the lashes I am wearing are the Beauty 1999 BO3 lashes, as bloody always. Well, not as always, but as always of recently. Okay, so now I've got too much on my brush, so I'm just basically getting the excess off on my hand and then going back in and just tapping over it so that it fades itself, and then once I go in with the yellow I won't have to do any blending. It will just cling to the base where the base has been put, and obviously because the base has been blended out, the yellow will just blend itself out. Just like so. And then I'm going to go back in with the darkest colours. and run that along. I just feel so stunning when I've got a good eye on. Ooh, lovely. Do you know what? I'm going to do a bit of shimmer actually. I'm going to take the shade Bumblebee mixed with Rise and Shine from my Beauty Bay Brights palette. Okay, that just ruined it, but we move. I'm going to use my iconic Triple Threat Mascara on my bottom lashes. I mean, I'm going to put on the same lip as always. I'm sure I'm sick of seeing it, to be honest, but it's my favourite. Really, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I absolutely love filming that, to be honest with you. If you want any other videos like dedicated to like, I don't know, foundation or maybe a different kind of blending, because obviously like those colours were quite easy, like relatively, like if you wanted me to, you know, go through like my pink eye, the first one that I did, like step by step, really zoomed in and like really talk about it, then I can do that, or anything like that. So yeah, I actually had so much fun. That was a really good video to film. Subscribe if you're not already. I would love, love, love to have you. Please, 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 please message me with suggestions. Follow me on Instagram. I don't really use Twitter, so just follow me on Instagram. But yeah, oh, I've got quite an exciting video coming up soon. I'm going to do a Valentine's video, a Valentine's themed video next week.
Ariel, listen to me. The human world, it's a mess.
That's why it's hotter under the water.